Ever felt like your team's brainstorming sessions are more of a brain drain? Ever lost track of who said what and which idea belonged to whom? We have all been there. It's really tough to keep everything organized and everyone on the same page. But guess what? We have a solution now, Microsoft Loop. Think of Microsoft Loop, it is a digital whiteboard. What better? It's a space that where everyone can throw in their ideas, sort them out, and see them evolve in real time. Are you planning a 10-week user training program? No problem. With Loop, you can easily create structured agendas, define your objectives, and get everyone on board. But here is the best part. Microsoft Loop isn't just a tool that can make your life easier. It's about making your team better. It's about turning your chaotic brainstorming sessions into structured discussions. It's about ensuring no idea gets lost in the shuffle. And the most importantly, it's about bringing your team together no matter where they are. So let's dive in and see how Microsoft Loop can revolutionize the way you plan and brainstorm. To get access to Microsoft Loop, simply go to loop.cloud.microsoft and click enter. Then you will need to sign in. I'll use my account here. Here we are in the Loop workspace. Let's start with a brief introduction to Microsoft Loop. I will open one of my workspaces, and here we are. I've created a simple introduction to Microsoft Loop. So it's kind of bright background, so I will come here from settings. We'll make it dark so that we can easily see our presentation. So what's Microsoft Loop? Microsoft Loop is basically a collaboration application that we can use to bring our teams together for each project and start working there. And anytime we create something, we have capabilities to share those components with different team members within team, Outlook, OneNote, and anytime we receive any updates, it's going to be sync the progress wherever they are updated. Let's also talk about key elements of Microsoft Loop. There are three key elements of Microsoft Loop. The first one is Loop components. These are basically building blocks of Microsoft Loop. Think of these as a portable piece of content that can be list, table, paragraph, that maintain real-time synchronization wherever they are shared. And wherever means here, you can share these components in Teams, Outlook, and so on. Loop pages. These are flexible canvases that we can use to brainstorm or create different project management artifacts, and it grow along the way. So you can have one loop page and you can bring everything in one loop page. Loop workspaces. Think of these as a place that you can bring everything related to your project. That can be files, that can be team members, that can be any brainstorming sessions, and so on. Now let's talk about benefits of Microsoft Loop. You can use Microsoft Loop for any industry, but in this use case, we are focusing on project management. If we categorize those benefits, there are three main benefits. First of all, you can manage your projects and tasks. This is a single platform, literally, that you can bring everything related to your project and monitor the progress. On the other hand, we can use Microsoft Loop for brainstorming and team collaboration, which today's session is about that. And the third one is note-taking. Loop has great templates for note-taking and integration capabilities with other applications such as Teams. You can easily take notes and share with team members. And when I say notes, this can be any agreements discussed, this can be any action items that you can easily assign to team members, and so on. Now that we have high-level information about Microsoft Loop, let's talk about today's use case. I'll make this bright again. So today's use case, basically, we are trying to brainstorm to create user training for application migration project. And you can make this even more robust, but right now I just want to keep it simple. So let's start with use case. We have a problem. Our problem is basically the team uses multiple applications to brainstorm, and that makes hard to work together. We send emails, sometimes emails get lost and updates are missed, and it's really hard to know who's doing what. And that's why we come up with solution that we will use Microsoft Loop. And we will specifically create one loop page where everything related to our user training will be in that specific loop page. And the benefits will be we don't need to send email to request input from other team members. We don't have to wait for who is going to update, when they can update. So loop page will help us to keep this organized. To start with, what I will do, I will simply copy this loop component. As you can see, this is a loop component. Then I will come this and expand. And here I'm going to set up a new loop page. To create a loop page, simply click plus icon, click new page. You can start from template gallery, but I want to actually start from scratch so that we can see how easily we can create different artifacts. So I will collapse this again. I will call this user training sessions. You can name whatever you want, but make it easier to others to find and start working on that. I really like using icons. The reason, because if you look at here, there are names of each loop page, but icons kind of make sense to easily find what loop page you are looking for. So I will collapse this again. I will come here. For user session training, maybe let's look at book or something like that. And I will also add cover. I really like cover. So this is kind of good background. I will choose this. And what I will do, first I will add a table of contents. And I will explain later why I did this, because loop page, as I said, it's flexible canvases. You can add as much as information you want, but keep in mind that those sometimes can get really, really long. So what I will do here, instead of creating headers, I will create collapsible headers and tie them to table of contents so that team can easily navigate. So table of contents, I will come here and paste our use case. So why this is important? Because team needs to understand why specifically we are using Loop. If again, this is the first time your team going to use Microsoft Loop. Then after this, I will add another component and call that overview, and then I will start populating with some information. So I will come here, click insert, or you can simply click / and this will open up the window. And from here, I will choose collapsible heading. And I will call this overview. So why overview is important? Because we need to give enough information to our team members that what's the purpose of this brainstorming session, why we need to create this user training, what are the key goals here, who is our target audience, what's the frequency, and so on. And if you click this collapsible heading, inside that I will simply come here, add another emoji. I really like emojis because it's easy to find the information whenever you are looking for. So here I will simply click star and say purpose. Our purpose is, and under that I will add another emoji, and I will say, let's say goal, target. So our goal is going to be and I can populate this saying that provide engaging and user focused training. And you can also make this more data driven. You can say that, for example, we want 70% of users to adopt the new tool within first quarter or second quarter and so on. And you can continue working on this. You can, for example, say frequency, and I will use emoji again. For example, we have this calendar icon. I will say frequency, and then frequency is going to be, let's say, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. EST, basically weekly. And you can later define how long, for example, 10 weeks, 8 weeks, and so on. Now we have information here. I can simply collapse this, and you can see now it's more organized. We have enough space for others, and it's easy to navigate. Imagine later we have 10, 12 collapsible heading. It's really going to be easy to navigate using table of contents. So what else I want to do here? I will actually come here, maybe here. I want to add a divider here. So divider, and here I really want to use labels. And labels means here, what's the status of these brainstorming sessions or overall user training? So click insert again and look for label. And from here, we have different labels: progress, priority, but you can also create your own label if you want. So I just need progress. I will add this here, and this is actually editable. That means that you can come here and select in progress or select off track. So depends on the progress. Right now, I'll just make it progress. So after overview, another collapsible heading here, and call this agreements. And then extend this. And now I will use numbered list. So I can say here, for example, before each training, check the system to make sure it works. Why this is important? Because if you are going to demo the system during the user training, it's really important to check the system, especially if the system in the development. So that's why you need to make sure that there is no clutter, it works as expected. Number two, again, you can add anything you want, but this is a team discussion. You discuss with the team. For example, you might have different project from the past and you have lesson learned. You can bring it here or simply just work with the team members. Another one can be each session will be recorded and shared in the Viva Engage page. So basically, let's say you have a Viva Engage page and you continuously provide updates or share any relevant information in that page. Another one, we can say that after each session, we will send a survey to gather user feedback. As you can see, I can add as much as information possible, and Loop page allows me, as I said before, it's a flexible canvases. So I will collapse this again. After this agreement, what I would like to add, I would like to add Kanban board. This time I want to add Kanban board. So I will simply come here, make this heading list and collapsible heading. I will change the name actually. I will make this team discussion board. So basically, whenever team has any issues, risks related to user training, instead of taking notes and waiting for it, they can simply come here and add that information in the board, and during the weekly team meeting, you can discuss this as a team and find a solution. For example, if I extend this, under this we have a team discussion board, which is a Kanban board. So team member can come here, say that in the new tool, and this basically inputted by whom, let's say by Megan, target date, we can say we need to get this done next Wednesday. And as you can see, Megan is not part of this team discussion. That's how you see it's now highlighted as a red. So all I need, I can click and share this loop page with Megan. And you can add a checklist. What I would like to do here, like kind of democratize the way of coming an agreement. So I will add another field, and this time I will use vote. So this is really a good way of basically coming to agreement for each issues or discussion points. If I click, now you see, let's say we have a team meeting every Wednesday or Thursday. Think of this as a backlog or to-do list. Now every week you can come here and you say, do we all agree to providing a user training focused on custom dashboards? And some team members might argue that no, we don't need to train the users creating custom dashboards because tool has built-in dashboards that they can use it. Custom dashboards might require coding or something. So anyway, so you team members can simply, let's say you have 10 team members, they can vote against or in favor, and this way you can say, okay, we have 10 team members, 4 of them is in favor and 6 of them are against. And that means that you can put this on hold, otherwise you can make this in done. So anything you decide here, now you can come back to agreements and update that. Let me collapse this again. Now let's think about weekly training sessions. So I can come back here, simply add another collapsible heading, and I will call this weekly user training. So this is the most important part, because now we are actually creating our agenda and topic for each session. So here is the time that you can actually use Copilot. If your organization has access to or given access you for Copilot for Microsoft 365, you can use Copilot within Microsoft Loop. If you don't have access to Copilot for Microsoft 365, that's fine. Don't worry, you can come here, but this must be within, you must use Microsoft Edge browser if you want to use this functionality. There are 2 categories here. One is chat. This is like simple Copilot chat experience. For other, one is Compose. I really like using Compose because this helps me to ideate and create new items. So I have a prompt copied and I will paste it here. So basically here I'm saying I'm a project manager assigned to manage an application migration project, and as part of this project we need to provide user training sessions. As a team, we have decided to deliver weekly training sessions for next 10 weeks. Generate an agenda and minimum of 4 agenda items for each session, from overview of the new tool all the way to post-go live support. Our users are less technical, so keep the agenda items simple. So you can choose a tone from here that depends on the your target. If this is for example, leadership, that means that they all care about business. You can highlight in the prompt that make it business driven. Or if that's the end users, you need to add information about what's in it for me. And format, you can choose paragraph, email, bullet points, and so on. You can define the length here, short, medium, long. I don't need medium, I'll just choose short. And now I can click generate draft. So sometimes pay attention. For example, even though we asked 10-week user training program, now it added only week 4. So we can further iterate and make it to create 10-week, but the purpose is here just to show you how you can leverage Copilot in Edge within Microsoft Loop. So if you are happy with the answer, all you need, just click add to site. And right now there is a little overlap here. We'll highlight this section and click tab, and this will make sure that it's on the weekly user training. So that way, if I collapse, you will not be able to see. And the last part, I don't need this. Hold. So anytime that you are not happy with the result, you can update it in the compose or highlight the area, and there is a rewrite with Copilot action here. Click, and this will basically regenerate or rewrite the part of the agenda that you want. And here right now it created as a paragraph, but you have options here. You can adjust, you can choose a tone, you can choose the format, length, and then rewrite. For example, I can choose format, basically bullet points, tone is going to be professional, and length is going to be short, and click rewrite. Agenda items based on our prompt, basically managing user profiles and setting permissions. If you are happy, you can click replace, and this will replace. Again, this might cause some overlap, so all you need, just click tab, and this will bring it there. So this is one of the ways that you can leverage Copilot for your brainstorming sessions. So if I don't use Copilot, it would be like we come together as a team and we start from scratch. But I found sometimes that's not helpful and waste of time. So if you are managing that project for months, now you have ideas about what kind of training our users need. So that means that you can come here, you can leverage Copilot to create those agenda and define your objectives. And when you meet with your team, instead of starting from scratch, now you can give them, hey Tim, I have leveraged Copilot to create this. Let's review this and let's see which ones make sense, which one we can edit, make it better, and so on. So it's up to you. But I really like using Copilot within Loop. And pay attention, if you use Copilot a lot and if you want to generate really better results, Microsoft has a great framework for your prompts. For example, for each prompt, you should have goal. What response do you want from Copilot? Basically, this is about, I want Copilot to do this, and to do what? In this case, it says generate 3-5 bullet points. So that's the goal you are going to give to Copilot. And you also give context. It says to prepare me for a meeting with client X to discuss their phase 3 plus brand campaign. In our case, this could be, for example, to create 10-week user training to educate our users to use new tool within next 10 weeks. And then, as you can see here, it says, why do you need it and who is involved? So why do you need it? You need to provide to educate your users to use new tool, and then who is involved. You can say team involved, end users, and so on. And here you can provide source. Again, if you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, it's really easy for you because it connects to your Microsoft Graph and it can bring your files, information from there. And then expectations. Please use simple language so I can get up to speed quickly. For example, as I said, if you categorize your user training sessions, Couple of them can be related to leadership, couple of them can be related to end users and so on. That's here you can specify based on their technical knowledge. You can say that our users are not tech savvy, so keep the agenda items simple so that they can easily understand when they attend the user training sessions. So I'll put this in our video description. You can leverage it. So let's continue. By the way, here is really great time that we can now bring our team members. Again, you can share entire workspace. That means that the team will have access to each loop page within your workspace. That means they will have access all these different loop pages. Now let's collapse. If you share the page link with them, they will have access to only this specific page. Or you can make this a loop component and share with others. For example, you might have other teams, let's say security. You don't want to share the entire page with them. You want to share some portion of this page. What you can do, you can come here, and here there is a click to open, and make this a component. So that means now I can come here, copy this, and share it within Teams, Outlook, and so on. For example, let's go to Teams. Let's say we have a team member in security team, and we want some inputs from them. We can say, hey John, can you review the week 3 and provide your feedback, please? And then basically you can share the component you copied here and click send. That means that John now can come and work on this loop component within Teams. So let's come back here. So another collapsible heading can be here, progress tracker. So how we will keep track of action items. So there are a couple of options here. You can bring your planner here. There's a planner integration here. For example, you can click and you can choose your planner and bring it here if you use planner. If you don't use planner, for example, you can just simply delete this. I will add another loop component, and it's built in its progress tracker, and make this, highlight this and make this collapsible. And if I extend, and here is our progress tracker. For example, work area can be schedule a weekly training session, and owner, let's say Megan is our communication specialist, she will do this job. And status, let's say you can say not started. End date, we want to schedule this by next Tuesday, let's say. I'll highlight this. Another one can be here, create a step by step user training guide. And owner can be here, Alex. Status, let's say Alex can say, hey, this is in progress, and end date you can specify here. And you can of course add more columns if you want here. If, for example, you can have comment section and etc. Progress tracker is really important to keep the team members accountable. So in this case, as you can see, we are bringing everything into one loop page. So if I collapse this, and now let's look at our table of contents. Now you can see this is growing. If I click weekly user training, this takes me directly there so that I can expand this. Insert. There is a built-in loop component called team retrospective here. And this is a really great way of receiving feedback and reflecting on it. So I will make this also collapsible. So let's say after each user's training session, you can say that keep doing. That means that we can do provide and so on training. We can keep doing this, and I will add a card here saying that not stop doing. I can call this, for example, this is a really good way of staying on track, because a lot of time I notice that even though you have predefined topic, people can ask different questions, but it's not related. That time you might waste time, and you can frustrate other users because they are here to listen to specific agenda items that you predefine. So that's why you can add here stop doing or start doing. Start doing means that you received feedback from users that you haven't thought about it. Now you are starting a new way of conducting your user trainings. So after team retrospective, we also need to keep track of questions and answers. This is really a great way of receiving feedback from the end users, especially when it comes to live user training sessions. You will have so many questions in the chat. So instead of just ignoring them, what I would recommend, document all those questions and create answers. So here I will simply come and say questions and answers. By the way, later you can use this to create or update your frequently asked questions. So I will come here, collapsible heading. I will extend this, and under that I will add a table. First column going to be question, and second column going to be answer. Keep it simple. So you have a question in the chat, you are going to put it here, and then later you work on the answer. And these questions and answers can be really great resource for your frequently asked questions. I will collapse this. Then let's say you have created some files for users. That can be user guide, that can be videos, and so on. So that means we need to also a section to store our documents or files. So I will click another collapsible heading and call this files. And under this file, for example, we have one file talking about, it's a PowerPoint, welcome to Power Apps. Let's say this is the tool that we are using. All I need, copy this, come back here, and here I can paste it. So this is really, really good because this kind of provides us with some metadata. Name of the file, kind of preview of the first slide, showing the edit history, and giving us the breadcrumbs showing that where this file stored. You have this version, or you can make this, for example, link. If you look at the link options, you can also make this just URL. So you can bring all these related files here. This can be PowerPoint, Word, Excel, infographics. Let's say you are creating infographic using Canva. Bring it here. So everything going to be in one page so that team can easily find they need whatever they need. Another way to help users can be creating bite-sized short videos. And there is a great loop component here. It's based on Microsoft Stream. So if you come here, there is a record video, and this way you can directly record a video from Microsoft Loop. Here, let's say we want to provide users how they can get started with the new solution. Now you can click record screen, select a screen to record. That can be entire screen, but this case I just need project tracker, app, share. And here I can basically show the team how they can look for the specific records or tasks. For example, let's say Adela, how they can filter in progress items. They can come here, click here, and then they can say that, hey, they have completed, they change the status to complete, click save, and perfect. So I'm actually recording this within Microsoft Loop. Now, if whenever I'm done, I can come here and stop recording, and then I will click add. Now you can see we have a recorded session here. So what I will do, I will make this recordings. I will make this collapsible heading again. So you might have multiple recordings, right? So if you look at here, you have a couple of options. We can say watch and stream. You can watch it from here. You can update the name, for example, user training session intro. Click, and you can also click clipchamp, and this way you have more options here. Of course, it's not like DaVinci Resolve or OBS, but it's really good if you are creating internal step-by-step video guide for your users. So you can come back here again. If you refresh, now you can see that this is updated. If you hover over about video comments, team member can come here, say that, for example, this is good, but we can add some text, and then yeah, we can then later edit it in clipchamp and so on. So another really great benefits here, if I click add, so we can tag people, we can bring some other loop pages we have as a link. We can also bring files here from our OneDrive. For example, if I click here, overview, and now you can see it directly brought this here. So this is really great if you want to tag people, bring files, and so on. Now, what else we need here? Let's say we want to share this within Teams. So all I need, come here, page link, come back to our Teams, go to Teams. I want to share this within this channel. I can simply come here, click tab, website. We can paste the URL here, click save. And you can see that we actually copied and pasted the entire workspace here. So team members can easily navigate different parts of the different loop pages within here. If you collapse, let's actually go to user training sessions, collapse this, and this way they can simply click and expand, and here they can go ahead and work together. Also, if you want to download the Loop app, come these three dots, ellipses here. From here, click Apps, and then click Install Microsoft Loop. And that's a wrap. We have walked through how to use Microsoft Loop to plan user training sessions for an application migration project. We also leveraged Copilot in our planning. Remember, the key to successful user training is clear communication through planning and ongoing support, and which Loop going to support us in this. With Microsoft Loop, you have a powerful tool at your fingerprints to make this process easier and more efficient. So give it a try and see how it can transform your team's workflow. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe for more helpful videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.